So the last part of this section, the intro welcome to Xero section, is your contacts. So if we click into contacts, you've got all contacts, customers and suppliers. So I'm going to go into all contacts. And initially, everyone's going to go into all contacts. And then as you use contacts in your bills and your purchases and your sales, they'll then get tagged as either suppliers or customers, or if there's somebody that you sell to and you buy from, then they'll go into both. So your contacts is where you keep the record for your customers and your suppliers, and you keep all the details on there. So you add a new contact in here, and you pop in their contact name. So I think I might actually already be in here from previous demonstrations, but let's just see. If you use account numbers, you can pop that in, but you don't have to. So sorry, the contact name would be the company. So Pink Pig. And then you'd have, and then, oops, hello. You can add other people. So for example, if I wanted to add in my accountant, so you'd put in their name. My mind's gone blank. I'm just going to put in Maddie, one of my team. Account. This is not an actual real email address, so please never use this one. And if you want them to be included in the emails that get sent out, then you tick in here. If they're just a contact reference point, then you don't need to tick it. But if you want them to get copies of the invoice, you want them to get copies of reminders, you want them to get copies of statements, then they need to be ticked in here. Now, the rest of it, you can put as much or as little as you want in here. So if you don't have a CRM, you may want to use this as your CRM, and you can fill all the details in, all the phone numbers, their website, their registration numbers, and notes that you want on them. You'd put in their addresses. You can put their bank details. So if you remember from the beginning, in the user section, you could tick to edit the bank details. This would be the bit that they have access to or don't have access to. You can put in their VAT number, which is especially important if you are working with a different country. You'd need to put their VAT number in. If you're multi-currency, you can change the standard default currency for that person. And then where I said about the defaults earlier with invoices and due dates and things, you can set, if you've got special terms for a customer, you can put their special terms in here. So you can set them a special account for sales, which you may or may not want, depending on if your sales types are set for relevant people. That'd be more for your purchases. For example, the post office will always be post, so you can put that as the default. You may want to change their terms, so it's 14 days after the invoice date. And then you can change the settings as well if you want to, or use the organisation settings. And you can set standard VAT rate if you want to. Standard discount, I don't like discounts, but granted they're used. You can put a credit limit in account, and you can block. So if you put a credit limit in, you can block new invoices when the credit limit is reached, which could be handy if you have got people that keep buying stuff and you need to keep an eye on where their credit levels are at. You can also set them a specific default branding theme if they're always going to be using the same one, and so on. So you can put all different bits and pieces in, and then you can do the same for purchases as well. And then you just save and close. As a minimum though, you do need a name and an email address. And you can see all the details here, any files you can attach. So if you've got like a sales agreement or price list or anything like that, you can add into here. Then you can edit up here, and you can see their activity here. Now, obviously, we've just set this up, so there's not going to be a lot here. So if we go into a different one, what you can see is in here, is you can see at a glance people who owe you money, what you owe them, and vice versa. So I'm actually going to come into here because this one's got the most activity on. And you can see at a glance what is owed to you and that you owe to them, and you can see their previous bills and invoices and the status of them and all the amounts and everything, all the details. I'm also going to go into a different one. No. I just wanted to find one with some money in and out, so you could see. It would also have a little graph here of the cash in and out as well. But in here you can see all their details, everything as well. And you've also got this hyperlink, so you can see them on the map if you want to go directly to. From here you can also create new items, and we're going to go through all of these separately, but you can do it from here as well. And then these 3 dots, there's a little bit of that as well. Now, what you can do is it's quite often sometimes that contacts get duplicated. So I'm just going to have a look, see if there are any. Oh, there's one. So I'm set up in there, but also Pink Pig is. So what you can do is you can choose which ones you want to merge. So if they're duplicates, you can merge them. So for example, WH Smith is one that often gets duplicated because it could be W space H space Smith, it could be WH Smith, it could be all together, but obviously they're all one person. So you'd basically come in, you can search for them where they could be together, click the 2 together and merge, and then you'd say which one you wanted to merge with. Sorry, I've not explained that very well. So you'd tick one of the duplicates and say you want to merge it with the other duplicate. So 7, choose it and click merge, and they will then merge together. I'm not going to because it's going to break it for down the line, but you'd then merge them together and all the details will come together onto one record instead of 2. So that's a really handy way of merging if you need to. If you've stopped working with somebody and you no longer need their record, you can also archive it. So you don't lose it, but it's just not then in your main list, it's then in the archive list. What you can also do is you can put things together into groups. So for example, this is all the training companies. I'm just making this up now as I go along, and then you can put things in it. What you can do is you then come to your customers and you can say, I want to put that one, and that one all in the sales group. And then if you come into groups, see that there. So this is good if you want to separate customers into different groups so that you can see just specific customers. It could be, for example, you do this for different salespeople. If you've got more than one salespeople, so they can just see their people, and they can come in and easily see their customers and see their details. You've also got smart lists where you can see all of these bits and pieces as well. So outstanding, more than 30 days. So it just means you can see them quite easily as well. So that is your contact hub. You can import and export if you've got a list. So on the import, you can download a template to pop all of them in. So if you've got them all on a CRM elsewhere and you want to bring them in, you can download the template, populate it, and export it back in. But yeah, that's the contacts in Xero.